Hello everyone, my name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take another deep dive into a potential season review as today we talk about the LA Clippers, a team that at the end of the day is, I would say, also an NBA purgatory, finishing ninth in the Western Conference and didn't really make it all that far in the playing tournament. A team that went 42 and 40 on their season, a very, very good end to the season, but stifled with a very bad start to the season, made some very big changes to their team. But where should they go now? What is their direction now? How can they improve from this current spot in their, I guess, presence? How can they bolster up their future in some way, whether that is competing next year? Once again, another team that I think should really consider looking at rebuilding as well. Let's talk about the LA Clippers in this video. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, feel free to like and subscribe if you are new. And let me know what you guys think about the LA Clippers and overall, where do you see their team kind of going in the future? Do you see their team kind of trying to go again? You know, they still got Kawhi Leonard, one of the best players in the world. They still got a pretty good plethora of 3-and-D guys, you know, players that can make a difference with a guy like Kawhi Leonard, or do they just not have enough? And ultimately, I kind of fall in the bracket of they don't have enough. The players that they do have that I really do like, ultimately are also players that are aging. So yes, Kawhi Leonard would fall into that category, but I mean, I like Bradley Beal, but Bradley Beal's aging. He hasn't really had much, I guess, genuinely good NBA game time. And pretty much every team that he's on at the moment. I mean, when was the last time this guy played? He played 6 games this year. You know what I mean? Not great. Not great at all. And 8 points in those 6 games. So, yeah, like I like Bradley Beal, but ultimately they got to get rid of him as soon as possible. Brook Lopez, an aging veteran. Really, really good guy, really good player. Obviously a very good guy as well, but I mean, John Collins is getting up there as well. I mean, they made some young moves. They traded James Harden for Darius Garland. James Harden's probably the better player, but Darius Garland might be able to fit them long term. Benedict Mathurin, I think, was a good pickup for the Clippers. I feel like they gave up Zubac, but they also got the 5th pick out of that. So they should be very happy with that trade, to be honest. That was a good deal. Nicholas Batum, again, an aging guy. I like Chris Dunn. I like Boban Bogdanovic. Again, good players here. Good players that could be difference makers, but still, I think they need another superstar. You know, Kawhi Leonard needs a James Harden, needs a Paul George, needs another one of those guys if they want to genuinely compete once again in the NBA. Because if they keep this team the same, they're probably going to get the same outcome. They might scrap for 6th, for 7th. Maybe they just avoid the playing tournament, but they're not championship. They're not a championship team. I would even make the claim in a stacked Western Conference, they're not even close to an NBA championship quality team. But I do like the way they play towards the end of the season. Primarily focused on defense, but that little bit of exuberance and youth for guys like Benedict Mathurin and Darius Garland, I think made a very big difference to their team. Their team was so slow heading into this year. If I'm not mistaken, this was the year that they also let CP3 go. Like, I feel like that was a lifetime ago, but that was this year. They brought in CP3, then they let him go because their team was too slow. Too much veterans, not enough youth. And again, it just hasn't worked. Like, it never works. When Cleveland tried to do this all those years ago, it didn't work. And for the Clippers, it didn't work. It's as simple as that. You can't have a team with just aging veterans the entire time. And we're seeing it more and more now. And I think teams need to realize that. So that's what the Clippers now have a genuine question about. What do they do with their current roster? Do they try to go younger? Again, they've got the luxury of picking 5th in the NBA draft, and they could go and select a really good player there. I think the genuine talking point is maybe about Darius Acuff, considering people project him to be the next big point guard that can come into this NBA and make a difference. He's a generational offensive talent, but also has some of the biggest liabilities on the defensive end as well. Is that the right move for the Clippers? Is it? Well, again, I think that depends on what happens with Kawhi Leonard as well, because I'm pretty sure Kawhi Leonard said publicly one time that he doesn't want to play with players that don't play defense. And Darius Acuff will come into this league as a defensive liability. I'm not going to sit here and say he won't play defense, but he will be a defensive liability. There are genuine talks about him not giving enough effort on that end. I mean, will Kawhi Leonard want to play with a guy like that? Well, his offensive talent might be enough to kind of get them over the line a little bit and make them just a genuinely great team that can get into the playoffs without having to fight in the play-in tournament. Or maybe they have to go elsewhere. Maybe they trade that 5th overall pick to get another veteran guy and try to compete again with Kawhi Leonard and whoever that veteran guy is. Or maybe, just maybe, they let go of Kawhi Leonard. Maybe. And I'll tell you why that's a considerable thing that they might be able to do. Kawhi Leonard is an amazing player. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best players in the world. Kawhi Leonard chose to join the Clippers. And throughout all of the turmoil and all of the trades and all of the roster changes that the Clippers have gone through, he's still there. I think he played the most games this year than he's played in quite some time. He looks good this year. He looks healthy. He looks happy. Like, there was a lot to talk about with Kawhi Leonard. But he's also making $50 million next year, and he's on a 1-year deal essentially now. He will be an unrestricted free agent in the 2027-2028 season. The reason why I'm saying this is because you can't rule out the question about letting him go, trading him. On a 1-year deal, he will likely get picked up. There will be many contending teams waiting to get his name on the dotted line for a season. Just like what the Raptors did when they won the championship with Kawhi Leonard, knowing full well he was on an expiring deal. He won a championship with them and he went to the Clippers. I think a team would be desperately be looking into that and saying, you know what, we could use a guy like that. Reports are suggesting the Pistons would be interested. I like that move. And not only that, I think the Pistons have some good assets they could give you. Good young assets. I don't think they'll be throwing the kitchen sink for him because they finished in the first seed regardless. But considering the disappointing end to the playoffs they had, losing in the second round in a Game 7 to Cleveland, I like that sort of deal. So the Clippers have that conversation. They need to ask themselves, do they completely go down the young routes and, I guess, push for it? Or do they just kind of stick with where it is? You know what I mean? Do they just stick with what they have? Do they try to go for an aging guy? Like, there's loads of options they could go down. Ultimately, do I think the Clippers right now can compete for a championship? No. But I don't think they're far away if they could get a genuinely ready now guy. I don't know what type of examples would be out there because obviously a guy like James Harden didn't work, but they got Brook Lopez, who's going to be a very good 3-and-D guy. Kawhi is obviously Kawhi. You don't probably want to get a guy in Darius Garland's position. If you can get maybe, Zach LaVine. Someone like Zach LaVine wouldn't work. He wouldn't work on the Clippers. I don't know. I think it needs to be a genuine 2-way guy that could play next to Kawhi. I think they need someone that could almost be a replica of Paul George. That's sort of what they're looking for. Maybe a Jimmy Butler. That might not work, but it could work. They want us to go and get a Jimmy Butler trade. You know, the Warriors might be looking to get rid of him based on that injury. They're like, that's what you have to be considering, you know. But all facets of the game, you got to be considering certain things. That's where the Clippers are at the moment. If I had to give their season a ranking out of 10, I would probably give it a 6, a lenient 6. I think it could be heading towards a 5. They just made good moves that I liked ultimately that made me change it to a 6 because it was a good move to get rid of James Harden. I know that many people might not have agreed with that, but they were so bad with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard there. They were just so bad. They were not playing the brand of basketball that they should be playing. Again, it was too slow. It wasn't really advertising to the eye. And there was not a lot of effort being put into their start of the year. So the Darius Garland move, I think, was good for the Clippers. The Benedict Mathurin deal where they got rid of Zubac. Yes, Zubac's a phenomenal guy. Big difference maker, fan favorite with the Clippers, but they also get the 5th pick. That's a good move. It's a good move that worked out. It may have not worked out if they went into the top 4, but 5th, it's a good move. It's a good move. And they can have a plethora of choices they could put that 5th pick into, whether it is trading it or selecting the guy and running with them, going younger, maybe getting multiple picks in this draft class. There's options there for them. And there's a genuine option to let go of Kawhi Leonard with 1 year left on his deal as well. So, yeah, he has a no-trade clause. I should mention that. But for certain teams, I think he could waive that. So there you go. We'll see. yeah, 6 out of 10 for me for the Clippers. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.